and welcome back to TeaBookClub. We all find ourselves in quite a different world this week, I think, across the globe, but TeaBookClub, we carry on. Fortunately, we're online, so our meetups and our plans aren't affected at all, and in fact, everyone's at home more now, so we all have a little bit more time to read, and because of that, and also because I want to help with the social distancing issues that a lot of people are facing and the lack of human contact. So you might have seen on Instagram that I'm considering starting a tea social. So I will announce more about that next week and in emails. The idea will be that we just meet online around the world and we share some tea and some chat. It's only related to TeaBookClub in that I've realised that TeaBookClub has a significant social impact, social side of it, and that actually one of the lovely things about TeaBookClub is coming together with other members and sharing a chat and just communicating with other tea people. So our next official TeaBookClub meetup is on Sunday, the 29th of March, and we have two meetups. We have one at 9 a.m. UCT, and that generally serves the Southern Hemisphere, so Australia. And then we have one at 5 p.m. UCT, which serves the Northern Hemisphere, so that's Europe and North America. If you would like to join, then just hop over to teabookclub.org. The link is below, and grab a spoon membership, and you can join us for a chat about the book. This book that we've been reading in this current cycle is The Story of Japanese Tea by Tyas Sōsen, which, as you know, I have been thoroughly enjoying. So just about finished it now. So we're just going to do a 5-minute reading from the very end, the last chapter. So for our 5-minute reading, here we are, chapter 6, page 175. Drinking tea. As has become clear throughout this book, I strongly advocate that each tea should be savoured for its individual traits. The environment in which the tea bush grew, the care of the manufacturer taken in the production process of the tea, and the characteristics of the plant itself played a decisive role in the appeal of the final product. But that is not all. When the product is finished, it is presented to us as dried leaves that still require to be brewed in order for us to be able to enjoy its taste and aroma. Therefore, it can be said that a tea, once it reaches us, is only half finished, and that the way in which it is brewed is the final stage of bringing the tea to life. In the sections below, I present a range of suggestions on how to fully enjoy a tea tasting session, but rather than focusing on claims as this tea should be brewed in such manner, I prefer to direct focus to letting you decide on how to infuse the tea you have in front of you. Guidelines for tasting tea. Now that you have acquired a thorough understanding of what Japanese tea essentially is, I am certain that you will be able to discern which practices will bring out the best flavour. Moreover, I wish to stress that brewing tea should not be a chemical experiment. Rather, to give expression to the vitality of the product, I exclaim that a mindful approach during the brewing process is what ultimately connects you to the spirit of the tea and what allows you to bring out the best of it in the current moment. The suggestions below are given to guide you in finding your personal approach and to allow you, through continuous interaction with tea, discover how it reacts to certain brewing practices. I believe that it is only through continuously trying different approaches and by learning about the background of each tea that you will become able to see the product for what it is and how it wishes to be brewed. Getting ready for tea. As indicated above, brewing tea requires a mindful approach. When we brew tea while we are tending to other things at the same time, we often forget about the tea and let it brew too long. Only through actively making time for tea and putting our full attention into the process can we listen to the tea, and if we listen carefully enough, it will tell us when the brew is ready to be poured and savoured. Ultimately, a moment for tea is a moment of peace and relaxation. Shut out all distractions. Put your phone aside, close your computer, and become fully present in the current moment. In our present age, everything is ready for consumption. Everything is plug and play. Tea isn't, nor should it be. When everything is simply consumption ready, we don't have to think about where it came from or how to successfully make it work. While this may seem as if it makes our lives easier, such things in fact only help to numb our senses and inactivate our desire to learn and discover. If we approach tea with the same mindset, then brewing a cup of tea may become stressful. In fact, it already does prior to even approaching the product. When you are presented with rigid brewing procedures on how to make a tea turn out delicious, haven't you, even for a moment, considered abandoning your desire to try a cup of delicious tea? Quality leaf tea isn't cheap, and when you are being told that brewing it deliciously is difficult, while chances on spoiling the brew are far greater, I too am likely to refrain from giving it a try. But let me tell you that these worries are unnecessary. You can't spoil tea. The only tea you can brew is the one that you are brewing now, and the only brew you can savour is the one that you have just produced. That is your tea. There is nothing spoilt or successful about it when you perceive it as a tea that it is. Ultimately, what we think of as spoilt is our own incapability to be present in the moment when we are infusing tea. We are the cause of producing a good or a bad brew, and the only thing we can do to guide this process to successful completion is to be mindful of what we are doing now. When this can be achieved, any tea will just be the reflection of your state of mind, and when your mind is pure and focused, so will the tea be clear and genuine in taste. Pick a location. While the atmosphere in which you undertake brewing your cup of tea does not immediately affect the outcome of the brew itself, it does affect how you feel and how easy it is to set your worldly thoughts aside and for a moment become present. Therefore, a place that is outside of your day-to-day life may be the best suited for this undertaking. To illustrate, the Japanese tea ceremony is commonly not maintained in the living quarters, but in a designated room or even a freestanding pavilion that has no other purpose than to enjoy tea in it. Personally, I enjoy the single-minded activity of taking a hike in nature and to somewhere along the way simply boil water and brew a refreshing cup of tea. Find a space or room in which you feel comfortable and relaxed. The atmosphere of the environment will greatly impact your state of mind and consequently the taste of the brew. Ready your implements. What will you use to brew your tea? Designated teapots and cups are available from a variety of craftsmen and come in different shapes, colours, with elaborate or simple motifs. 5 minutes, but I'll finish this section. With elaborate or simple motifs and a handle without a handle in different types of clay, etc. This list can go on endlessly. In the end, the implements you choose to brew your tea is more a matter of subjective preference than it is a matter of objective consideration. For example, in regard to the kind of tea you are brewing, while there are vessels that have been designed specifically for use with a certain type of tea, this shouldn't mean you couldn't use it to brew other teas with it. What should, however, be taken in consideration is the size of the vessel you pick in relation to the number of persons you are about to serve and the temperature of the water you will be using to brew the tea. Avoid using porcelain when brewing with boiling water. You may also take into account the minuteness and size of the leaf. If a tea is crumbled and contains a lot of powder, consider choosing a vessel with a built-in strainer. Otherwise, the spout and all the holes in the teapot can easily get clogged. There you go. Something that I think that last chapter we could all do with reading and actually processing in this current time. Tyas goes on to talk about the water you boil, the leaf and how you consider it, and how you do further brews, and some guidelines on brewing tea. So that, I think, fits really nicely with where we are. If you enjoyed that, hop on over to TeaBookClub, and it would be lovely to see you on the 29th of March at our discussion when we'll be talking about the book and sharing our views. Thank you.